why would someone live in the digital age and choose not to post anything on social media? No selfies, no food pics, no vacation flex, no tweets, no reels, no TikTok dances. Just silence. Are they hiding something? Are they secretly unhappy? Or could they be onto something that the rest of us are missing? In a world where sharing is currency and validation often comes in likes, there exists a fascinating group of people who simply don't post. Not because they don't know how, but because they choose not to. And their reasons might just change how you look at yourself and your own social media habits. Stick around, because in this episode, we're diving deep into the psychology of the people who don't post on social media. And trust me, this isn't about shaming or praising. This is about understanding. Understanding what's really going on behind the scenes. And maybe, just maybe, finding a new perspective that could change how you show up in the world.
Let's start with a simple truth. Not everyone is wired for the spotlight. While some of us get a dopamine rush every time we hit post and watch the likes roll in, others feel a deep sense of discomfort at the very thought of sharing anything online. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. So why don't some people post? 1. They value privacy more than visibility. For some people, privacy isn't just a preference, it's a core value. These are the folks who believe that the most meaningful parts of life don't belong on display. They aren't hiding, they're just choosing to protect something sacred: their time, their relationships, and their peace of mind. You might hear them say things like, "I don't need everyone knowing where I went for dinner." Or, "My happiest moments aren't for Instagram, they're for me." These are not signs of secrecy. They're signs of selective sharing, a conscious decision not to feed the algorithm with every slice of life. 2. They don't seek validation online. Let's be honest. A lot of us do post for validation. There's no shame in it. Getting likes and comments can feel great. It's human nature to want to be seen and appreciated. But for people who don't post, that validation often comes from somewhere else, maybe from close relationships, personal achievements, or inner confidence. They're not antisocial. They just aren't reliant on public affirmation. Think of it this way. Some people need applause to know they're doing a good job. Others just know and keep going. 3. They're observers, not performers. You know that friend who never posts, but somehow knows everything about everyone else? Yeah, they're probably scrolling like the rest of us. They're just not participating. This group prefers watching, learning, analyzing. They're the quiet thinkers, the introspective ones, the ones who might be building something bigger offline while everyone else is busy posting. And that's a powerful thing.
Now, let's zoom in on the deeper layers. This is where it gets really interesting. Psychologically, people who don't post often fall into a few fascinating archetypes. Let's break them down. The self-contained personality. These people are internally validated. They don't seek external praise because their sense of self-worth comes from within. They're grounded, balanced, less reactive. They don't ride emotional roller coasters based on how many likes they get. This kind of emotional regulation is rare and valuable. The learner type. For some, social media is just a tool, a library, not a stage. They're there to absorb, not to broadcast. They follow niche pages, they save posts, they study comments. You won't find them posting outfit pics, but they might be watching a TED Talk or taking notes from a productivity guru. They're not antisocial, they're just focused. The skeptic or minimalist group. This group sees through the filters, literally and figuratively. They recognize that much of social media is curated, highlight reels, perfect angles, manufactured moments. So they opt out, not because they hate people, but because they value authenticity, and they don't always find it online. They're minimalists of attention. They don't need to be everywhere. They just want to be real.
Let's get real for a moment. How many times have you taken a picture of your lunch, planned the caption, added a filter, then decided not to post it? Exactly. Even people who do post regularly often question why they're doing it. And that question, why am I posting this, is actually one of the most powerful tools for self-awareness. Let's play with that idea. Imagine this. You're at the gym. You're lifting heavy. Feeling good. Do you pause to take a selfie, or do you keep lifting? You're on vacation. Beautiful beach. Sunset. Do you grab your phone or your partner's hand? You're reading a book, deep in thought, inspired. Do you highlight it or share a screenshot? Now, neither option is wrong, but asking the question helps you align your actions with your values. Because when you stop living for the post, you start living for the moment. Practical takeaways. So what can we learn from people who don't post? Self-awareness is power. Ask yourself, why do I share what I share? Who is it for? You don't have to prove anything. Accomplishments, joy, success, they're real whether or not you post about them. Silence is not invisibility. Some of the most powerful people in the world are not the loudest ones. They're the ones quietly building, growing, evolving behind the scenes. Create before you share. Focus on being, not just showing. Create the life you want offline. Then decide if it's worth sharing online.
Now, here's the twist. What if this non-posting mindset isn't just a quirk, but a superpower? What if the discipline to not post, to live without needing an audience, is exactly what you need to break through in your own life? Think about it. We live in a time when the loudest voice often gets the most attention, but attention doesn't always mean impact, and noise doesn't always mean value. The people who don't post are often the same people who read more than they tweet, work more than they talk, grow more than they show. They're the people becoming something quietly, so when they do show up, the world listens. And here's the real challenge for you. Can you go 7 days without posting and still feel just as valuable? Can you build something offline that nobody sees, but still matters? Can you become the kind of person who doesn't need validation to move forward? That's where the shift happens. That's where confidence is built. Not in the comments, not in the DMs, but in the inner work, the discipline, the quiet victories. Because sometimes the most successful people are the ones you never see coming. So here's the big takeaway. People who don't post on social media aren't weird. They're not disconnected. They're not hiding. They might just be deeply connected to themselves. They might be building quietly, learning deliberately, growing intentionally. And whether you're someone who posts daily or barely at all, the real question is, are you living for yourself or for your audience? If you found value in this, do yourself a favor. Don't just scroll to the next video. Sit with this. Reflect. Ask questions. And maybe unplug a little today. Because real growth, real peace, real confidence, it doesn't need a filter. It just needs your focus. Thanks for tuning in. If you're someone who wants to keep learning every day, motivating your mind, challenging your habits, and becoming the best version of yourself, hit that subscribe button, follow the channel, and turn on notifications. This is your space for daily growth, deep conversations, and fresh insights. We're just getting started. See you in the next one.